Sims, let's go.
Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're watching the GSL Talk Show. Tonight, we're going to be chatting with Miss Pepper Cat. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the GSL Talk Show. As you all can see, I'm here with Miss Pepper Cat. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Glad to have you here. I think one of our most unique names here on the GSL Talk Show.
Yeah.
So I got to
Yeah,
learn
thank
more
you.
about that.
Yeah. Yeah, but thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. No problem. Looking forward to getting to know you and your endeavors. Could you share with us where you're from and a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm from the US. I'm not going to specify what city, just for certain reasons. But yeah, I'm in the southern part of the US. And I'm sorry, what was the second question?
Just a little about yourself.
Yeah. So I work in the adult industry, and I mainly connect with people who are looking to express themselves in a safe place where they don't feel shamed and where they can be open, and explore whatever they want to work through that may be taboo or they may not feel comfortable telling other people. And so I started a company called Design Your Dreamgirl, which basically is a safe space for people to be open and me to connect with them with whatever fantasy or type of connection that they want. And then I have a podcast where I just talk about the humanity of embracing your sexual side and to not feel shame and to uh, basically be more open when it comes to expressing yourself in a safe place. So that's basically what I do. I've been doing this for about 3 years. I'm going on 4 years in June. And I guess I can tell you too about my religious background. I grew up Baptist. I went to Catholic school from middle school up until 12th grade. So I have both of those backgrounds in terms of Catholicism as well as being Baptist. And I grew up, I think I attended church all the way up into, I want to say around the pandemic is when I stopped. But yeah, that's my background now. Right now, I'm agnostic, but I still practice certain parts of different faiths and spiritualities. I don't really have a specific religion, but I still incorporate different aspects from my past too. So,
Okay. I mean, well, I definitely know in the Christian community, the sex conversation is still taboo and it's
yeah.
still a lot of shame that people have. I know there's a lot of, I feel like, I guess, church hurt when it comes to, they call it what's it called? Man, the name just went away from my mind. I don't want to get it wrong, but well, I was never a part of the movement, so I think that's probably why it's hard for me to remember what it is. But the purity culture situation, because apparently there was
Yeah.
like these, I guess, camps and people that like really, I guess, did a number on, especially the ladies. And which, don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm a Bible believing Christian, so at the end of the day, you know, I do believe that there's a certain time for certain things, X, Y, and Z. But I never went through that program to know like exactly what all they was doing. But people have come here and shared about like, you know, that either they hate purity culture or they got a lot they
Oh,
got
well.
specific feelings about
Yeah.
that particular movement. So,
Yeah.
you know, I get it. And so, yeah, I mean, it sounds like you are providing, I guess, a safe space for at least some exploration or whatnot. I mean, I may not fully understand exactly what all you mean by that, but you can
Most people don't.
enlighten us, you know,
Yeah.
feel so led
Yeah.
to do. But yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm sure the people are as well. So, I mean, what more can you share with us, Miss Peppercat?
Yeah. Well, I can relate it back to religion. I find that okay, so I'm not going to go into too many details, but I communicate with people virtually. There's no in person, so it's through phone, cam, messaging, anything virtual. So that's the main platforms that I use.
Mm,
And someone may be into a kink or fetish or have some fantasy or trying to work out something that they felt shamed about, and
mm,
they'll tell me things that they don't even feel comfortable telling their friends or family, and things that they've been holding on to. And then certain guys just come to me just to talk because they don't feel understood by people, and I'm just a safe place for them. But yeah, and it's really interesting because I get a lot of Christian customers who come to me, and they have. I mean, I've had religious leaders too who are trying to work through fantasies. Sometimes they want me to play a role where I shame them, and I don't know if that's just a part of them just trying to work through actual shame and them trying to just work it out with me.
mm,
But a lot of religious customers are into being talking more about them being open to what they like. I get a lot of conservative people coming to me just because they can't verbally communicate with people in their community or their church, or at least they don't feel like they can. And they vocalize certain things that they're into that they can't really tell other people. So, yeah, that's
that's
basically
That's definitely interesting. I mean, I
it
guess it's one
is.
of those things because, I mean, well, at least here on the GSL platform, we believe that God created sex, right? And it's part of, his creation X, Y, and Z. And so that's why it's kind of very interesting that there is still such a stigma
Mhm.
when it comes to just the conversation. Like I know I still get
Yeah.
people every now and then on the channel being like, "You should change the name of that track." I'm like, well, first of all, it's almost 5 years now, so there's too much that has been built under this name. Two, it's my testimony, so at the end of the day, can't change that. And then three, I mean, I don't see that big of a deal of using the word sex, but whatever. Some people do.
Yeah.
um, but the thing is, I mean, sex is such an important conversation. As you just shared, I mean, you have customers that are feeling like they can't express themselves, things like that. But then, um, just, I mean, if you really look at it, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of issues come from the sex conversation. If you really look
Mhm.
like about it,
Yeah.
it could be something simple, like, oh, I want to get rich, but then ultimately it's like you want to get rich because you want a certain type of woman, or you want a certain type of dude, or you want to have
Mhm.
sex with. Like that's what it is. Like it
Mhm.
boils
Yeah.
down to a lot of big issues and stuff. So anywho, you know what I mean? Obviously, you know this because you're in business. So I mean, well, I would love to know like what got you into this, and I mean, what would you even call it? To I guess to help us understand for those that are still
Yeah.
maybe like, what's going on? So you
Yeah. No, yeah. So I would refer to myself as an adult entertainer. But I was actually a TV news producer. Well, I was a news producer for about 3 years. I
know.
started during COVID, and it was a lot. I mean, we were reporting on deaths and COVID. I mean, it was just stabbings. It was a lot, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't get paid much, and I was doing a lot of work, and it's the news industry is very tense and it's very quick, and it just didn't work with my mental, and yeah, it was a lot, and
Mm,
so I wanted to transfer into another form of media where I had more control. And I knew someone who was a phone sex operator, which I know, I'm sure some people have heard. But if you don't, it's just, those commercials that you see on TV about calling or whatever, and
mm,
calling and talking to someone. So I got into that first when I was a news producer, and then I started to see how much money I earned and how much I enjoyed it, and how uh, flexible it made my life be. And so I did it full time in terms of camming and phone work, as well as messaging on different sites. And I've been doing this for 3+ years now. I eventually created my own company, yeah. So that's how I got into it. Kept it a secret for a couple of years, and my family found out a couple months ago. So yeah, and they're super religious. My mom was fine; she was open to it. Other members, they weren't okay with it, but that's okay. But yeah, so I do it full time. I don't do news producing anymore. Um, yeah, so that's the summary of what I do, and I do it every day, and yeah.
I mean, no judgment, here. I mean, it's so interesting. So there's so many things to say, I guess, about what you just shared. So, because one, I don't know, I think since the pandemic have become a bit of a conspiracy theory. So when you start talking about the news or whatever case may be, I'm like, yeah, because I seen the videos where they got all these clips of all these different news places, and they all saying the exact same words, and I'm like,
Yeah, and
so that's a
yeah.
whole conversation by itself.
Hmm.
I'm like,
Yeah,
everything's propaganda, everything. I might be the person with the tinfoil, I don't know, but
it's
I'm just like,
true,
I'm
actually. So,
side-eyeing everything. Like, I'm
yeah.
like, no, I don't even. I mean, I stopped watching the news like a long time ago, just because of every time you watch it, it's like depressing.
Yeah.
Um, but now I'm over here like, wow, it's a whole nother, yeah. I mean, anywho,
Yeah.
so we ain't got to get on that if you don't want to. But if you do want to,
No.
you want to help people get free from the, false prophet media, by all means, we would love to hear that testimony. But yeah, but then when it comes to my first thought, honestly, when you said like the phone operating type of thing, I was like, that still happens.
Yeah, it is. I know, right?
Like the 90s thing or something. I
Right.
mean, but I guess everybody has phones, so I mean, I guess it
Mhm.
would still be going on. I don't know much about that other than like what you hear or what you see on a show or something. But still, I mean,
Mhm.
obviously you do, so you can let us know or whatever.
Sure. Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, so that was just my only thought about that. But I mean, and well, the other thing, and I guess this, so you can go wherever you want to go with this conversation, basically. But the other thing that crossed my mind was that, like, I saw something a while back, and they were talking about how there's people that I guess, like to be taken advantage of or something like that, or and they like to be, like you were mentioning, like maybe talked down to, or I can't remember what they call it. But then
Oh.
I guess at some point, and I mean, it crossed your minds as a woman. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, you come across something, you like, oh, you can make a bunch of money, and it's like, oh, if I just be mean to this person. But then I don't know.
Mhm.
After a while, I mean, after I think about it, for a while, I'm like, I don't know if I can sit here and just be mean to somebody just because I'll be sitting here trying to be like, you don't have to be like this. Jesus, right? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know, like, but maybe some people can, do that or whatever. But so, I mean, hey, I'm all ears about any or all of those things. If you have
Yeah.
anything to add, but yeah.
Well, yeah. So, what you're referring to are the dominatrix or
Mm,
doms who degrade or humiliate people. So basically, certain people are into being talked down to, like you said, or called names, or be sub submissive. And
mm,
actually, what you find is quiet as it's kept. It's a lot of religious leaders who are into it, a lot of pastors who like it, anyone who has any sort of power, because what it is that they want to take away the power from themselves that they have to uphold in public eye. I mean, you can find CEOs who are into it, judges, pastors, because they have to have a certain persona in the public. And so they want to be in a space where that's taken away and they don't have to put on the face of what it means to be a man. And so a lot of times they're trying to channel power play and what that feels like to not always have to be in control and give someone else control, which in most cases it's women. In most cases too, it's Black women. And you find that a lot of white men like to be controlled by Black women. I don't do it as much because I'm a sweetheart. I mean, I've done it a couple of times, but I just don't like to scream at people and stuff like that. I mean, I'll do it if someone wants me to, but it's not my main niche. Just because I don't know, I just don't like calling people names all the time. But some guys like it, but it's definitely a psychology that's behind it too. Um, these these guys are trying to work out them being powerful men and that being taken away from them. So, and that's how they channel it. And then some like to give money, like big sums of money, because it turns them on, and they just like to give it away. And those women who do it actually make a lot of money doing it. But
I think I
yeah,
saw an article about
yeah.
a lady or something like that. Yeah, but yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it is interesting coming across men who like to do that. You have a lot of politicians and people who just love to be dominated and cursed out or called names, and yeah. So yeah, but like yeah, that's the background of what it is and why people choose to do it. And on the other hand, there are men who come to us to dominate or be a leader because they don't have that power in their real life. And they want to know what it feels like to have some sort of control. And so they do that too, as well, which I come across men who like to do that as well. But it all depends on what kind of power they hold in society or in the public eye. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess one of the things is, people like different things, and so I mean,
Mhm.
these may be the people that we know, right? Live with. This
It
might be
is.
out,
Yeah.
like and everything
Yeah.
like that. And I mean, I guess, I, well, I don't know. Do you? Well, one, do you have a significant other, and then two, like, do you work with couples or something like that?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, so I'm not dating as of right now, but I did, and the person who I dated knew they didn't care. Honestly, in terms of my customers, who I get a lot of husbands. Sometimes singles come to me. I do work with couples if they're interested who are trying to explore virtually. Um, yeah, some husbands, their wives know and they're upfront with what they're doing, and of course some don't. I do not. If somebody's cheating and doing cam show and their wife is upset, the wife has every um, they are allowed to be upset at the husband. And I don't control what these men do, but I believe that there are consequences for your actions, and if he finds out, then that's on him. And but yeah, I'm not dating right now. Yeah, I see a lot of different kinds of men that come across me. So yeah.
I guess, like, what would you say to maybe like a wife that, like, maybe her man wants these type of things, or whatever case may be, and maybe she's not used to, or whatever, like, is there any, like, advice that you could give them to be like, hey, maybe you could, like, do this or that for your significant other, things of that nature?
Yeah, I mean, I think if a wife doesn't want to do something, I don't think the husband should be pressuring her to do something that she doesn't feel comfortable with. And that's part of the reason why a lot of them do come to us, which I don't condone like cheating or anything. I mean, I just work here. But yeah, I mean, in terms of what I find with a lot of husbands is that they feel shame, or sometimes they may bring up something and their partner may laugh or look at them funny because a lot of guys or people are into things that are like food or feet, things that are kind of weird or bizarre. And the biggest fear is that they will be laughed at or judged. And so I think just asking them straight up too, like if you ask, they will most likely tell you what they're into. But a lot of guys feel fear of being judged or laughed at or exposed, their partner telling their friends or family what they're really into, and just being open minded. But yeah, I don't condone like pressuring other partners to feel uncomfortable doing something that would make them not want to do it anymore. So yeah.
Like, do you feel like those type of conversations should be had like before marriage, or it's like, oh, I find out you like feet after we married? I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
whatever the example could be, fill in the blank. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, that was it. Like, do
Oh,
you think that's a conversation that should
um,
be had before, or it's fine to have it after?
I think prior to. I think before, because I don't think it's fair for a woman to find out that her husband is into something that she doesn't like. I mean, there are a lot of husbands I come across who are into sleeping with other men. And if you're into that, you need to tell your wife or your partner prior to that, because that's not fair to your partner to be married to someone who has some or who's into something and dragging them into something that they don't know about until later. So I think that those questions need to be discussed prior to. I know some people are afraid, like during dates, to bring up, kinks or fetishes, and for the most part, people don't say anything because people don't ask what they're really into. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so I mean, it makes sense though. I was thinking like, should it like when's the good time to say like,
I don't.
would it be when you become my fiance? Then you let me. Is that what you do?
I
I
think
don't know.
when you first, I don't know what people do in terms of sex, but when you are about to be sexually active, you should definitely ask, like, hey, what are you into? Or even ask, I mean, hey, do you sleep with other men? Because they're not going to say anything unless you ask.
Hmm.
Which I mean, I think people should tell people, what they're into, but for some reason, certain people just don't like to admit it unless there's a discussion about it. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, I mean, now y'all know. Okay, have those conversations. Have the tough conversation. Ask questions, ladies. That's what she just told you.
And yeah, you have to ask.
Mhm. Ask some
and
questions,
not,
or ladies and
and
gentlemen.
not laugh either,
Yeah.
because they don't want to be laughed. I mean, I know that laughter comes from not understanding something, or it's just a natural reaction. Um, Not so much not laugh, but just understand, or just have open ears too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, be a safe space, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, girl. Well,
Yeah.
listen. Sounds like there's so much to ask or say. Goodness. So you say 3 years then of
Yeah,
doing this,
3.
your own business, or just this type of work in general?
I didn't start my own adult business until last year.
Mm.
Prior to that, I was just doing like phone sex and camming and OnlyFans and stuff like that. I still do those, but now I have my own company that, yeah. So, but yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. So I've encountered a lot of different types of people, like
Mm.
well-known people you'll see. like everyone comes to us. Yeah, it's a really interesting, yeah, job.
Mm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, well, yeah. What do you feel about people? I guess that have the stigma against like what you have going on. Like, I guess maybe they would give you the title like OnlyFans model, or or things of that nature. Like,
Yeah.
um, what would you say to that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. Sex work has been around for centuries, but I think it's because, like you mentioned earlier, I think you said something like how sex is still taboo. It's the same with sex work. It's still taboo. It's still misunderstood, and also I think there's a lot of shame that people have. It's a lot of shame. People are. Uh, a lot of people are ashamed to admit what they like or what they desire. Um, I mean, for all different kinds of reasons. But yeah, I mean, I would like to tell them that our sexual desires is a part of what makes us human. And I just don't believe in suppressing that. I think that's really dangerous to suppress something and not talk about it. I've seen it firsthand with my customers. But sex work is important. It allows people to have a platform where they can't always say or do things. Um, and again, sexual suppression is very dangerous. And without sex work, in my opinion, it will be a lot of more sexual violence if people didn't have outlets like us to work through certain thoughts or desires that they may have. And we are people just like anyone else. We have to pay our taxes. I know people who are like, oh, like that's not a real job, but when it's time to pay the IRS,
Mhm.
it's a lot of money we have to pay. And we are smart. There are people who are. I got my master's. I mean, there are people who come from all different backgrounds. I wasn't forced into it. There are women who just, or men and women, but mostly women who are in our industry who enjoy what we do. Um, yeah. And we are people just like anyone else. And we deserve respect just like anyone else, too. Yeah.
I can lie. I was thinking about I guess the "Are you safe?" question, because we have had, former guests. One lady in particular that was, human trafficking survivor and things of that nature, and she had a lot to
Hmm.
share with us about, well, the porn industry from her perspective of what she witnessed and
Hmm.
not. And um, so I don't know if you feel like you're in a similar situation, or if you're feeling like, no, my situation is completely different. I don't want to
Hmm.
assume, so I'm just asking, if you want
Yeah.
to share what I do, are you saved? Like blink
Yeah.
once, that, and uh, you
Yeah.
know, that type of thing. Because
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm say if there's no one like like behind my camera or something like telling me to say
ah,
certain things. But no, I am safe
free
and
pepper cat.
yeah. But part of the reason why I do like platforms like OnlyFans and like phone sex companies is that we do as much as we are comfortable doing. I haven't worked in like the porn sets and stuff, so I can't really speak to that. But I won't deny that there are pros and cons to our industry, especially when it comes to safety. But in terms of virtual work, what's great about it is that we don't have to cross boundaries, and we don't even have to touch the other person. If somebody's rude to me, I just block them, and then I'll just go to the next customer. And these platforms allow us to have more agency over ourselves as opposed to porn companies that may have somebody do something that they're not comfortable doing too as well. And I would like to say too, there is a difference between sex trafficking and the adult industry, but I do know that it gets intertwined and in the hands of the wrong people who take advantage of people, and try to push them beyond their limits as well. So yeah, but I am
Look,
safe. I'm
just
safe.
want to make sure you safe out here, man. You know what I mean? I know we're definitely
Yeah.
I guess, supporter of, making more awareness about the human trafficking issue and whatnot, on our channel and stuff, because yes, because of the young lady, but then also just, in general and whatnot. You know, my mom and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
but I was molested when I was younger, so
Mhm.
um, so you know what I mean. Like I know it's like a lot of different things
Yeah.
going on
Mhm.
that we address here on GSL, but just overall. So yeah, just want to make sure like you
Mhm.
know
Yeah, I'm
ready at
saying.
some point. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. But well, I mean, I I don't know what I was expecting today, Miss Paper Cat. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I had any expectations, honestly. Um, but I think you definitely have, informed us on a few things. At least for
Mhm.
those that may have some questions or
Mhm.
whatnot. I mean, is there anything that you like when coming on GSL in particular? Because I know that, I mean, obviously, we do talk about sex, love, X, Y, and Z, but
Yeah.
there is the
Mhm.
God aspect as well. So when you kind of when we connected and things of that nature, like was there anything in particular that you kind of was like, I would like to go to that platform to share this or that? Or was it just because they talk about sex with but
No,
but either way,
yeah.
is there
Mhm.
anything like you were thinking of sharing with us?
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, so I was I know I wrote in my message about sexual shame. But yeah, no, I mean, I guess I can share more too with I guess my relation to the church and me and what I do now. Which I mean, I don't want to like put someone down, based on their beliefs or anything. But I'm just sharing my own personal perspective with me. Um, and I know years back when I did go to Catholic school or when I grew up in the church, I wouldn't have even imagined me doing this. But I did experience some sexual shame. I think even in Catholic school, we didn't even have like sexual education in high school. I know we had it in middle school, but I always felt like I couldn't really be myself or even, I mean, I would feel guilty masturbating or, just having certain thoughts. And I think that's why, too, I did move away from Christianity, but I don't fault anyone who's in it. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to share my perspective too, with me having a lot of Christian customers come to me and just explain the reasoning too. I mean, which I did explain a couple of minutes ago about why Christian men feel comfortable coming to us and opening up in terms of experiencing some sort of sexual shame within their own community within Christianity. But yeah, I mean that's it. And I am hesitant about telling certain people what I do. I know that right now I'm experiencing sexual shame with some of my Christian family members, but I know it just has to do with misunderstanding too. But yeah, I guess I want to learn too more about what do you think about sexual shame in terms of sexual expression. What are your thoughts and perspective too when it comes to the church and being sexually open to your desires? And how have you seen it play out as well?
Oh Lord, well, look, whole conversation now. I mean, well, to be honest, again, that's part of starting a platform. There's so many different aspects of that to talk about because I can talk about it from the single side where I was kind of, what started this channel was me being horny and being like, Lord, listen, where's my husband? And, and doing that whole thing. And then basically God using my desire to please him, but then my desire for sex as well as my desire for love to draw me near to him, and understand that it wasn't just the sex and the love and all that I was desiring, but something else needed to be filled before I received that. And so now I am on the other side of being married and whatnot, which is with a whole nother different side of the thing. Because then you would think, like, as a married woman, I'm getting it in or whatever, but I'm being very transparent on here. That's not the case, or it's not. I'm not getting it in as much as I would prefer. But at the same time, I have to give my husband grace. I understand he's working. It's like midday. I'm talking to you right now, and that's a blessing, right? Because you know what I'm saying. There's a roof over my head, things like that. Where I mean, I can work part time at the church I go to, stuff like that, because of him. So at the end of the day, like I understand he can't be on his back all day just to please me, you know.
Mhm.
But at the same time too, you know, as somebody that reads the Bible, right? I also feel like for whatever reason I'm confused, but I feel like there's a lot of empowered women and there's a lot of empowerment when it comes to sex in the Bible that people some for some reason are ignoring.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then adding on, I guess, like you said, this shame or whatever that God did not give us. You know, at the end of the day, like we were created naked from what it was saying, you know, in the Bible and whatnot. And
Mhm.
so I feel like all of the I mean, I get it. Again, I do understand like about fornication. I understand about like, okay, waiting till you're married, all that type of stuff. And I'm not taking
Mhm.
anything away from that. Because I think that's important, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm saying there's biblical verses that are telling me that my husband's body is mine and vice versa. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it's telling me to, you know, unless we're going to come together and decide that, okay, we're going to fast and pray right now, we'll take a break for that. But it's very intentional about saying, but come on back together because, you know what I mean? And it's not talking
Yeah.
about just, you know, come back and talk. It's talking about come back and have sex. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because you don't want the enemy coming in to that situation. And so, um, I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions for some reason. I mean, I know I feel like it's a you know a spiritual thing. Because
Mhm.
the enemy's going to use whatever he's going to use to get you to not do what the Bible say do. The Bible say have more sex when you're married. You're not, and then people don't do it because we do the opposite of what
Mhm.
the Bible tells us to do.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, yeah, I guess I can say that yeah, I've experienced or witnessed, you know, this shame conversation, you know, or again, maybe women feeling as if, oh, for some reason, I don't know where they got it from, but they were like, oh, sex is just for procreation. Well,
Mhm.
Solomon ain't saying that, you know what I mean? Like, you know, what are we talking? Where are we getting these things from? I believe where we're getting it from is people passing down
Mhm.
ideas of what they think it is, and then to the next person in the next generation or whatever, and it just keeps going on and on and on, and nobody's reading the Bible for themselves to see what it actually says.
Mhm.
So yeah, like I mean, I don't know if I answered your question.
No, yeah,
You
you
know what I
did.
mean?
And
Well, yeah, I definitely see a lot of that's what I see, or that's how I feel when it comes to the sex conversation.
Mhm.
I think, and that's part of the reason I started the platform to say, hey, man, let's just
Mhm.
have conversations about this. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I do feel like it's a big, huge issue. I feel like a lot of things go with the sex conversation, or a lot of the issues of life. Now, I'm not saying it all centers around sex conversation because I know they say, oh, the love of money is the root of all evil, but I feel like second to probably the money thing is probably sex. That's the second thing that people
Mhm.
are um, having issues with. We don't like what the Bible tells us about it, right? We don't want to wait till we're married, or we don't want to have one spouse, or we don't want, you know what I mean? Like we don't want
Mhm.
what the Bible's telling us to say or do, and then we take issue with that. Thinking that we can't have self control or something, and when we can. So, um, but yeah. So again, I know I
Mhm.
started my conversation, so I can go on and
Yeah.
on about GSL, but yeah, hopefully,
Yeah.
how do you
Oh,
feel
I
about
had
what I said? Like,
no, no, no. Yeah, no. I think what you're saying it makes sense in terms of sexual shame, and I do appreciate platforms like yours too, where you talk about sex, especially within your community, because I think we need to be having these. We need to have more conversations like this because you just can't suppress it and sweep it under the rug and not feel comfortable talking about it. I know I wish I had came across a podcast like this when I was, you know, not not younger, but you know,
I know
of
what you mean.
age, you know, to feel comfortable with my sexuality as a Christian too.
Mm.
I'm curious, and I mean, I don't know if you even have the answer to this, but do you know, or have you come across people who ever are Christian couples who talk about like, do you all talk about kinks or fetishes, or like even the discussion, or is it something that's still taboo within the community that's discussed amongst couples?
That's interesting. So I haven't been well outside of GSL because I mean we've had a person, for example, come and he's like this key master or something like that, and he came. He was talking about his that he do and all this type of stuff, and how he coaches couples and things like that. So I've had those conversations with different people and whatnot. But have I witnessed the Christian community having like a open just dialogue? I mean, I'm not saying they're not. Maybe there's people online doing it, but I mean, I would love to see. And honestly, I thought about, I don't know, should I start at my church that I go to, but like a small group situation where people are actually just sitting. I mean, maybe they don't want to talk about their kinks. Everybody sit together. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
There's for couples when you know what I mean or whatever. But at least have that again open dialogue about just general or whatever. Like I feel like there's nothing wrong or it shouldn't be anything wrong with that. I mean, I don't know if the kink conversation. I mean, in this moment, it seems like it should be a couple conversation, you know. But at the same time, too, like maybe some people don't know what kinks are. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so I mean, I know there's platforms like I'm kind of an affiliate of one called Romantic Blessing. Shout out to Romantic Blessing. You know, they're like a Christian. Technically, I guess you would say like a sex store, or they have the toys, the lingerie, stuff like that. And I guess what
Oh,
makes them
interesting. Okay. Yeah.
different, yeah,
Yeah,
is
that's
that
pretty cool.
they're very intentional about, like, for example, not putting the lingerie with the models on, like just the lingerie, so you can buy the
Yeah.
lingerie, that type of thing. Like they're very intentional about trying to do things like that, and I guess creating that safe space. And I know they put a lot of content out there where they're teaching certain things, like because people may be like, what is this or that, and you know what I mean. And if you go try to Google it, then you're gonna get all kinds of stuff. But if you go to like a safe space, and then you can see like, okay, you can learn about whatever it is. So I've seen that. So I feel like there's an online movement happening in these days and times.
Yeah.
That, like you said, I mean, I would love if I had some of this, in my single days, or if I had GSL in my single days, for example. I think I probably would. Maybe I would have held on a little longer, or maybe I would have been a little bit more empowered, or whatever. I was struggling back then. So, which I mean, I guess obviously inspired me, and I think a lot of other people too. I feel like there's other platforms that are being open and honest about the sex conversation as Christians. So there's something happening, but yeah, I haven't seen many in-person things to this magnitude, but I've seen some movement online. So
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know there were like a sex toy shops or lingerie for that. Yeah, I had no idea.
yeah, I mean, because the married folk, y'all, I mean, we got to do something,
Get
you know.
kinky too.
I know that was we had a conversation. Well, actually, our first quote unquote talk show that we had, there was a Christian couple that came, and we were talking about the importance of sex in marriage, and they were pretty much, talking about how, I guess, basically what I was telling you earlier about my situation, but like, the difference in desire, or the difference in like, I just keep it at desire, right? And so if the two are on different pages about, the frequency, or whatever, then again, that could be a thing where the enemy could come in. And it almost happened for this particular couple that came, but they were able to kind of, navigate things in a way to hold on to their marriage and things like that. But and then we've had the conversations where we talked about like games, or we played like, in a tame way, but it was like one some type of like little game that we played with the two couples that came, and talked about what was that? I think it wasn't necessarily kink, but it was something like, I can't remember. But it was so long ago. We're almost at our 5-year coming up anniversary or whatever. So we have to I don't know, pull up, go dust off those old episodes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotta do something exciting, right?
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I'm hopefully, again, conversations like these will help, especially the Christian community, to, I guess, not just be more open to just having the conversation. Like, again, maybe we need to learn about what certain things are, or what, again, if a wife marries somebody that, likes a certain thing, whatever the case may be, and one person don't know, or, you know what I mean? Like, where can she learn? Like, how can she grow? How can she, and then it's not about forcing or anything, but it's also compromises in marriage. Like, maybe I like something that you know what I mean? Like, So let us be open to communicating, especially with our spouses, and doing what the Lord say do. which is
Yeah.
it in.
Yeah, I agree.
Married folk. Look, I'm on team more married sex, so that should be no surprise, I guess. But
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
you know, but I mean, well, how can the people get in touch with you? Is there anything else we should be looking out for when it comes to you and your endeavors? Feel free.
Yeah, I mean, I can. I discuss more of this on my podcast on spicyspectrumpodcast.com, where I just discuss and I bring on experts who talk about sexuality and your desires, and sexual shame. And if you want to learn more about the world and what we are discussing within the adult industry and the current problems or challenges, or not just challenges too, just what's going on in the world of kinks and fetishes, you can feel free to visit and listen. You may hear some bizarre things, but yeah, no, yeah. If people want to get a new type of perspective, they can definitely do that and learn more. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
is
I don't
there?
want to give out my socials because it's not. I don't think you can just go to my podcast and just listen. Listen there, spicyspectrum.com. But yeah.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
is there anything else you want to share with us before you go?
Yeah, just I encourage people to not feel shame about who they are and what they like, and like you said, have sex and be comfortable, and indulging, and don't let people cross your boundaries too. I don't, I'm not for that, but yeah, and that sex workers are people, and I just want to share my perspective too about what I've seen, and what I've witnessed, in terms of my customers and sexual shame. And then I think conversations like these that you're having are important, and that we should keep having these conversations, and being open to listening to others too. And I appreciate you too sharing your perspective, and again having these platforms to continue and important conversations centered around sex and being comfortable talking about it too. So yeah.
You're welcome, little. Just trying out here. I'm trying.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're welcome back anytime, and yeah, let's see what the Lord do with all of this, right?
Yeah, yeah. And thank you for having me too, and being so respectful. Sometimes I come across people who are who don't always go about things the correct way. But yeah, I appreciate your professionalism too on here as well. So
All right, Lulu,
and being nice.
I didn't call to come burden me up, yeah, everybody. It ain't me. It ain't me. She's saying it to her. Oh my God. Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching the GSL Talk Show, and thank you to Miss Pepper Cat for joining us tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and check out her podcast. Have a good night.